Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Brett Keane. I'm going to be taking a break for a while from YouTube. I don't have my heart into this anymore, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like it's causing a lot of stress and aggravation on me. It's hurting me physically as well as mentally to continue to fucking deal with this shit. It's one thing for people to troll the fuck out of you and do that kind of shit. I got no problem. But the false accusations, the slander, the bullshit of YouTube where they don't protect their members from false flaggers and all that, it's horseshit. It's horseshit. I know a lot of these assholes, they don't realize the type of work and time that I've put into my Mystery Evolution channel as well as my older ones that were just as popular, but for 6 years, I've been climbing the ranks and getting knocked the fuck back down over and over. And sooner or later, a son of a bitch realizes whenever he's in the ring and he just keeps getting fucking pounded on over and over again. And he keeps on kicking ass and shit. But then you've got the referee sitting there not paying attention whenever the motherfucker's giving him an elbow or kicking the goddamn nuts and all that shit. The referee's actually turning their back whenever they get a goddamn weapon and just hit you over and over with it. I mean, what the fuck are you supposed to do? You know what's really amazing too is these people that you support and you endorse and you give them so much time and you mirror their videos and you try to promote other atheists out there and shit. And you know what happens? I mean, one of the things that is one of the biggest hypocritical double standards of YouTube is this. People claim that they care about freedom of speech. They claim that they care about when people's accounts get removed, especially when it's their own account that's under attack. But one of the beauties of this is that you realize every time my accounts got knocked on or fucking hit and everything, even whenever I was extremely popular and loved by fucking most on YouTube, nobody fucking mirrored the goddamn videos. Nobody sat there and fucking said anything. The only thing that was said was a foray of fucking trolls saying that I deserved to lose my freedom of speech, that deserved to lose my rights. And this is before the Coughlin bullshit even came up, ladies and gentlemen. These folks, they only care about freedom of speech whenever it has to do with their own videos and their own content. When it comes to their own monetization and any little money that they might make off of doing their shit. These fuckers are so fake. It's ridiculous. You know, recently I was going around in a stick-am chat room and shit, and I came into a Christian room and I just sat there. I was quiet. And I listened to the Christians in the room, and they were talking about each other's woes and their pains and shit that has happened to them in their past. And they were actually supporting each other. They were trying to help each other feel better, you know, offering each other advice and suggestions and trying to do all kinds of cool shit for each other. And, you know, anytime I've ever had any kind of hurt or pain, and I've made it clear, do you think that I get emails where people fucking sit there and say, oh man, Brett, it's so fucking shitty what's happening to you today, blah, 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 blah. No. No, these people don't care. A lot of these people who do fucking YouTube and shit, especially the atheist community, they have this mentality of they have to be as dramatic and badass as can be in order to pick up views and subs. It's all it is for them, is just about the numbers. It's not even about science or intelligent conversation on YouTube anymore. It's about who can be the most emo bitch of all times. When you look at the Christian community, you will see that if you watch a video by Venom Fang X, you'll see that there are Christians who are supportive. They're behind him. Whether you think he's wrong or not, or agree with him, people are there for him. Even guys like Yoke or Jesus Freak, or even in the past when Sister Sunshine was a Christian, there were Christians who left very encouraging and supportive comments. Even guys like Pastor George and Violet Kitty, some of the most beautiful comments you'll ever see is made by Christians to other Christians. Sure, I've seen comments where Christians have said some nasty things like, oh, you're believing wrongly, oh, I don't agree with that and stuff, Jesus is going to be upset and disappointed with you on that. but nothing of the caliber of go fuck yourself and die. Oh, you're a loser. What? You don't agree with me, so I'm going to make 20 goddamn videos embarrassing the shit out of you kind of stuff. No pawnage Olympics. The Christians have never come up with shit like that. And I've also watched Muslim videos. I've never seen Muslims sitting there doing that kind of shit to each other. Except for one time there was a disagreement in the Muslim community between a friend of mine who was named Sword of Allah. He was receiving some fucking horse shit from some other Muslims because he was more of a, how shall I say? He was basically an American who chose the Muslim faith. And one of his inspirations were Malcolm X. He was the type of guy that would wear the fucking, the Muslim cap and everything. The turbine, as I was being silly about one day and actually said, the turban. And he smokes a cigar and he plays fucking World of Warcraft and all this shit. And the worst they thought about him was that he shouldn't eat certain things. He shouldn't smoke cigars on video. That it's kind of misrepresenting the Muslim religion and all that kind of stuff. So it was more of about an idea of image and representation that the Muslims were trying to hold by themselves. But they weren't telling the guy to go fucking, stick his head in a fucking woodcutter or something like that. Me, though, I get fucking phone calls from people talking shit. I get fucking videos on a daily basis. There's not a day that can go by where you can't do a search on Brett Keane and find some video of someone talking mad shit about me or my wife or my family or attacking one of my fucking friends just because I have them on my front goddamn page. So, I don't know. Man. I don't have my heart in it anymore. This is affecting my fucking health. It's making me sick. And I've talked to a lot of my supposed alleged internet buddies about it. And they just sit there and say, well, Brett, I see what's going on. I see how horrible it is. I see how they're fucking, ripping you through the mud and slandering you and trying to ruin your goddamn integrity and reputation. But I don't want to get involved, man. I don't want to say anything because I don't want to be the next guy on the chopping block. And that's the routine. So if people are too cowardly or spineless even to leave a fucking comment or say anything about what's going on, then of course one wouldn't logically suspect that they're going to make a video in defense of me. And I really, for a longest time, I never thought I needed any kind of defense. I never felt that I was doing anything wrong. I know that I come off sometimes in my videos a little harsh towards how I deal with religion, but how else am I supposed to come off? I'm talking about murder and killing and rape and destruction in the Bible. How the fuck else can you come off in a polite, nice manner about that? But one thing I've tried to do, I've tried to make an effort to get along with Christians, and I've made a few friends out of it. I try to get along making friends with Muslims, and I've made a few Muslim friends out there. Pagans, deists, agnostics, Satanists, and all that. But everybody's got their own fucking thing they're doing and stuff, and sometimes I feel like I'm alone in this goddamn nonsense. And I ask people for advice, I ask people for suggestions, and all they do is just, well, I don't know what to tell you, or they just simply ignore it and shit until it gets to the point where it's too late. I don't know. YouTube's not only been a place where I try to educate people and make people laugh, make people feel good, and teach people things about religion and politics that they may not have known, or maybe even put some things out there that I don't know in order for you guys to correct me and educate me on. This was what I originally wanted to do. I wanted to network with people. I wanted to make friends. When I first started YouTube, I used to put my wife and children on video all the time because originally YouTube was like a family site where people, show off their family and everything, and you get to see them having a good time and people are smiling and shit. You know, when you used to see videos where people would have their kids opening Christmas presents or playing with a kitten and stuff like that. That's what I used to like to do, while on top of that expressing my views. But I can't do that anymore. I can't. You should see how many goddamn YouTube channels people have where they got my fucking kids posted on it. Trying to make my wife look stupid, trying to make my children, you know, whatever. I've tried to reason and rationalize with these people who are doing these really awful things. You know, I told Straight Dope a while ago, whenever he wanted to take me into a fucking blog TV, I said, can't we just talk in Skype? Can't we just talk on an individual basis? I explained to him. I told people back then I was having some serious health issues. I was on some pain medications and stuff like that. I wasn't feeling fucking up to this kind of bullshit. But instead, he wanted to take me out into a public forum in front of all the goddamn atheists and shit and non-believers and people who wanted to be there, and tried to basically rip away my reputation, take edited footage and shit that he chopped up, cut up, in order to make me look like an asshole. And while I was sitting there listening to him talk, you can tell that I wasn't my same self because I was on pain medication. But I was also noticing and observing the comments on the blog TV, and if any of you watched the 3-hour video between me and him, you will notice, 3 hours, 1 hour, however long it was, you will notice the comments of people talking shit about my mother, who's dead, who committed suicide. You'll see them talking about my family. And that's what I was looking at the same time I was sitting there listening to this guy that I couldn't see his face. I couldn't even hear what the fuck he was doing. All I knew is there was some guy who had animosity towards me and wanted to embarrass me in front of everybody. But I blame myself for even putting myself into a situation like that in the first place. And I also blame myself for ever using YouTube. You know, I knew whenever I got on here that there was going to be some controversial things I would say about religion and politics that would, you know, stir some shit. Because anytime you would disagree with people when it comes to religion and politics, no matter even if you're a Christian yourself or a Muslim or of a religion, no one seems to agree on anything. So you're going to get into some shit. I knew that. I never knew that YouTube was going to ignore its own terms of service and actually allow people to fucking terrorize me over the goddamn internet. I never knew that YouTube was going to allow users to have their videos cut up, chopped up, and basically dragged through the fucking mud. According to YouTube terms of service, if you're having some kind of privacy or safety issue, you're supposed to have the ability to report these people and let YouTube be aware. But YouTube has let so much slop slide. And you know what's really sad, ladies and gentlemen? What's really sad is it would be one thing if it was just slander and bullshit. But these people can destroy my account, and then you know what happens after that? And this is something nobody thinks about. This is the part that's a real fucking dandy. If my videos get knocked off the web, then the only thing that will exist is these videos where people make me out to look like an asshole. So no matter what time or when I decide to do a video on whatever new channel, if I desired to make, that shit will always be out there, and people will always have this idea in their head that this is what they think Brett Keane is because some asshole who didn't show himself on a video said so. This is what's going to be throughout the internet. Somebody types in Brett Keane, all they're going to see is Brett Keane's this, Brett Keane's that, Brett Keane's blah, 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 Brett Keane's a bitch, you know, just... And that's what's left. That's what's left of what, I don't know if this is too big or fancy of a word to use, but internet legacy. I won't be known as the guy who knew the Bible very well and had good debates and discussions. I won't be known as the guy who tried to have friends with everybody. I won't be known as the guy who wore his heart on his shoulder, the guy who loved and cared about people and tried to help people who've been abused, people who've been hurt, people who've went through a lot of pain. Someone who who stood up and said, look, you're not alone in this cold, cruel world. I'm here too. And we're together. You're not alone in shit. There's people like you who are going through shit. No, I'll be considered a goddamn monster if the trolls have their fucking way with it. And some of you might think, well, Brett, that's paranoia. That's silly. That's crazy that you would think that people would believe trolls and all that, but they do. I get emails all the time of people fucking asking me about this and asking me about that, and some people just go ahead and assume right off the bat that what they're seeing and hearing is true in the first place. So I get emails and comments of people saying, fuck you, you're a bastard, you do this, you do that, blah, 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 blah. People I don't even know. But it's my own goddamn fault. I knew the world was fucked up, ladies and gentlemen. I knew this world was shit. I knew that, that's one of the reasons why I think I have agoraphobia, is because I get around people and I realize people are fake, they're artificial, and they shit on each other just for fucking sport. So what do? I get on YouTube and I become real popular, and now I'm covered in fucking shit from all over the goddamn world, from Europe to America to the United Kingdom to fucking Honolulu, sons. And most of you won't care. A lot of you have YouTube partnership. You're getting paid, so you're like, fuck it, who cares, Yeah, just wait. Just wait until some asshole, some emo troll decides that he wants to fucking make you look like you were, fucking sidekicks with Adolf Hitler, and then see what happens. See how you like that whenever they smear the shit out of you and then fucking have your account dropped in a bucket and your buddies stand around going, gee, you shouldn't respond to these type of people. You should just ignore them. Even if they're destroying your channels and fucking up your livelihood. Oh, goodness. I need a break, ladies and gentlemen. I need a break. These people are hurting me. And I'm not talking about the trolls. I'm not talking about the haters. I'm not talking about the people who make the shitty videos. They're not the ones that hurt me the most. No, they're not. Straight Dope and his crew and Coughlin's crew, they're not the ones that fucking damaged me the most. It's the people who pretended as though they cared. It's the people who act like they got your back. It's the people who, quietly and privately tell you, oh, I like you. I dig you. But I'm not going to do a fucking thing. Peace.